All right, we here. We here. We here. Hey, you know, one thing I've learned out of my 41 years is time reveals all. I don't know how many videos I did on this fake. I think maybe 2. I ain't really do too many. Y'all didn't look at it anyway, but it's cool. It ain't gonna stop me. You know, the truth gonna be compressed, but the truth gonna come out. Believe that. Stud, dyke, lesbian, whatever she is, she trying to tell women how to pick a man. You can't tell a woman how to pick a man when you laying with women. You don't have no kids. You never been married. That's the blind leading the blind. Y'all follow whores like this. O'Shea Duke Jackson, bring it out. Let's go. Shout out to who show was she on? Spilling everything. Couldn't hold her water. Joe Budden. That right. Shout out to Joe Budden, man. Let go.
On April 27th, 2026, Cheyenne Bryant would come on to the Joe Budden podcast. And this collaboration is interesting, being that Joe Budden had some pretty derogatory things to say about her in the past. But let bygones be bygones. Cheyenne Bryant coming on to this podcast.
Oh, no, she ain't got Doc on her necklace.
A lot of views.
She had DOC on her necklace.
The podcast was 3 hours and 14 minutes or so.
She a drifter,
there was
bro.
a lot to be uncovered. But one of the most controversial components of the podcast actually occurred much early on, within the first 10 minutes. When Cheyenne Bryant was speaking about her credentials, and well,
I no longer practice under a license.
And why
right now I'm in private practice.
You're making all the money now.
That's what I'm saying. And that's what people don't understand, right? So just to educate some folks a little bit, a license is really only needed so you can bill insurance. And let me go a step further. Majority of people who know that in order to bill insurance as a therapist or a physician or a psychologist, psychiatrist, you have to diagnose.
Okay.
Most people don't want to have a diagnosis on their record. So what do they rather do? Pay out of pocket.
That's what I do.
So when I realized that, I thought, well, okay, it may create a gap within our community, our Black community, who can't afford health care or afford mental health services. But it also is a way that, you know, as a therapist, 2 things, you can obviously make what you deserve, because therapy is real. We're giving everything we have in there.
Now, Dr. Cheyenne Bryant explains her shift to private practice, specifically focusing on avoiding, billing for insurance and formal diagnosis. She frames this as an empowering choice for her clients. Also, this is a good thing because if you are diagnosed, then this stays on your health or medical record, which you might not want that on there. And so it's good for you to pay cash.
Right.
However,
for her.
Those therapists who were licensed were pissed off.
Some of us are actually licensed. Like, some of us are doing the work. Like, we're on the ground in the nitty gritty doing the work, taking insurance, license, okay? All the things.
But the best explanation came from
all the things.
Dr. Raquel Martin, a PhD psychologist. Check her out on Instagram. She is very, very talented, very, very smart. She would respond to Dr. Cheyenne Bryant's claims.
That is incredibly misleading.
Right.
Yes,
I seen this.
You need a license to bill
I seen
insurance.
this gone viral when she's sitting in the car. Some other people use this clip, and that's what made me say, you know what? Let's expose this bitch.
But that is not why licensure exists. Licensure protects you. It means I have completed specific education and supervised clinical hours, passed rigorous exams, and I'm accountable to a regulatory board.
Right.
If I breach confidentiality, if I cross ethical boundaries or harm you, you have somewhere to file a complaint and be sure that I'm held accountable. A license is not paperwork just for billing. It's a consumer protection. When someone drops or loses or no longer has a license, they're not solely avoiding the insurance hassle. They're also removing your recourse if something goes terribly wrong.
So Dr. Cheyenne Bryant is saying that she isn't licensed and you don't have to have a diagnosis on your record. But as Dr. Raquel Martin points out, the reason why you have a license is not just to be able to bill insurance. That's just one of the things. That's a
Stop
small
the cap.
thing. One of the reasons why you have a license is because you're accountable to a governing body or a board. That means if this particular psychologist or therapist is trying to harm you or is misleading you or is putting your information out there without your knowledge, you can then go to that board and file a complaint against that particular therapist.
Exactly.
If Dr. Cheyenne
Exactly.
Bryant puts your information out there, or if she tells everybody your personal situation, well, you have no leverage in holding her accountable because she is typically unlicensed.
Unlicensed.
The reason why medical doctors, dentists, and the rest of healthcare professionals
Are licensed so they can be
it's
held
not really
accountable.
to build
So they can be held
Like I said,
accountable.
this is a consumer protection for you,
Absolutely.
the client. So
Absolutely.
when the clinician is not licensed, all they do is remove your recourse if something goes terribly wrong. And if she doesn't have a board or a governing body to be accountable for, then she has no reason of doing a really good job. She has all the leverage and you don't. Then Dr. Bryant will go on to say this.
Therapy is real. We're giving everything we have in there. And we're unpacking shit and we're helping you process through things. So it's not us sitting there, well, if you're an effective therapist, saying, tell me more. You should be unpacking.
Right.
And you should be able to take somebody and drive with them
Right.
to their goal and give them tools.
Now, the problem with this is that Dr. Cheyenne Bryant is talking about she needs to have this money. It's important because she can get paid more because it's a lot of work that goes into this. And she uses the word therapist.
Therapist.
Now, Dr. Raquel, what later on go on in her video, and you can check it out, is that there is a difference between therapy
Right.
and coaching.
Right.
When you're a therapist, you're able to diagnose. And she will go on to say that there are real mental conditions out there, such as bipolar disease or post-traumatic syndrome, also known as PTSD.
Right.
And if a person calls in or wants to deal with Dr. Cheyenne Bryant, if they have these mental illnesses,
Right.
well, Dr. Cheyenne Bryant, even if she could suspect that this happens, well, she can't diagnose you. All right. What if the person is wanting to unalive themselves? She can't diagnose you.
Can't help that.
So she would have taken your resources and you would have to go to a licensed clinician and do it all over again,
Yep.
which would cost you more money.
Yep.
And Dr. Cheyenne Bryant, if you go to her website, she is pretty careful about these things. You know, she doesn't call herself a therapist on her website.
Nah.
She calls these sessions coaching. Now that's interesting because of
at
the
that.
Joe Budden
Look at that.
podcast. She doesn't use the term coaching. She uses the term therapy or therapist. But she knows that putting therapist on her website when she isn't licensed could get her sued. So how does she deal with this? She has coaching in the framework. Virtual life coaching via FaceTime, $350. Book Dr. Bryant as your speaker, moderator, panelist, special guest, etc. But you want to know what's not there?
500. Not a degree. Not a degree.
Therapist.
No degree.
There's also telephonic life coaching. So on the podcast, she's presenting herself as a therapist, but when you go and book, you're looking at coaching.
Coaching.
Group life coaching. Office life coaching. Travel to
Travel
you
life
coaching.
coaching.
Booty clapping coaching.
Hey, might as well. Might as
I'm just
well.
joking. That's not on there.
It's probably
So
is
if you
somewhere.
ask me, this is really malicious
Girl on
because
girl
you're
edition.
online presenting yourself as something that you're not. So basically, you're presenting
Girl
yourself
on
as a
girl
therapist.
edition, nigga.
But if somebody complains about you, well, I never said I was a therapist because it's not on my website.
Nope.
What I do is coach. Dr. Cheyenne Bryant also speaks as if she's ever been licensed. And that's also a fundamental issue. You see, Dr. Cheyenne Bryant does have a bachelor's of science degree from California State Northridge. She has a master's from University of Phoenix. And then there's a PhD from Argosy University, which is a defunct institution. It has never been accredited with any of the psychological or American psychological approved programs. It's not there. And so what would she need to be able to diagnose anyway?
Right. The lies.
To be a clinical psychologist in the United States,
Oh, I'm
an
definitely using
individual
that.
must meet two primary non-negotiable requirements: an educational credential,
it right there.
a doctoral degree, PhD or PsyD, in psychology from an accredited institution. Does Dr. Cheyenne Bryant have that? You also must have licensure. So number one, if she never got this educational credential, she could never be licensed anyway. She simply doesn't have it. But for her to be licensed, she must pass a national examination and completing supervised clinical hours to obtain a license from state board, such as the Board of Psychology. Now, it's also important to understand when you talk about state boards that there are 51 or 52 states in the union, and that all states operate differently. To be a psychologist in California is different than Tennessee.
It's different.
And every respective state
different. Yes,
has
sir.
their respective board exams,
Yes, sir.
just like the bar exam in law. This is the same thing.
Yes,
But
sir.
then there is something else.
But I don't just blame Dr. Cheyenne. I think I blame podcasters. I blame the media for spotlighting her over and over again, because it just shows how much power she has. How much power she has in the therapy community and over her clients. For clients to believe it is okay to be seen by somebody who's not ethical, by somebody who doesn't take insurance. You know why? Because sometimes people just want a piece of what they see online. They want to be able to say, Dr. Cheyenne is my therapist. Yeah, I see her once a week. They don't care that she's not licensed. They just care about what she's providing them.
Now, this lady makes a very good point, because she blames the podcast for bringing somebody on like Cheyenne Bryant, who everybody knows is unlicensed. But if you can bring views and clicks to the podcast, that's all that matters.
Yep,
And
that's
the
all that
second
matters.
part is that most people don't mind
Bunch of
dealing
sellouts.
with somebody who's unethical, because Dr. Cheyenne Bryant
Bragging
is now
rights.
a celebrity. So I was
Right.
able to be helped by
Right.
Dr. Cheyenne
Bragging
Bryant.
rights.
That's who my therapist is. And, you
You
know,
know,
I was able to talk to her.
Y'all gonna learn. Y'all gonna learn. Trying to fit in, trying to be cool. You know, personally, this is why me and a lot of people fell out over the last 30 years. D don't care who likes him and who don't. I put that on my daughter. I put that on Yah the Most High. I don't care who don't agree with me. That's okay if we disagree. We can disagree to agree. That's okay. But one thing is, you ain't gonna leave me off a ledge. I'll tell you that. Let go.
From a clout chasing perspective. And this is a larger problem in the black community.
It is.
Because there are plenty of good
Love
therapists
being
out
with
there.
the get along.
Some of them are licensed in this video that I mentioned.
Sell out.
But if you're not known, if you don't have clout,
You're
in the black
nobody.
community, it doesn't matter, because we follow the clout. We
Right.
want what's shiny.
We found
like Young
what's
Pharaoh
shiny.
or Brother Polite. So many good programs in the black community that
And I'm going, I ain't trying to keep pause, but that's the problem with a lot of women. They don't care what's right. They don't care what's wrong. They only care about what's shiny and what feel good. And that's going to hurt you every time.
take care of kids. Shout
Don't
out to
hurt
Urban
you
Nerds
every
Worldwide.
time.
They take the black youth all over the East Coast corridor
Good.
to colleges for these young black students that have never
Good.
seen a college campus,
Something
or
better.
understand how to get into school. They take care of that, trying to create more black nerds for the inner city. But because they don't have enough clout, it's hard for them to get funded. But somebody like Dr. Cheyenne Bryant,
Oh, she gonna
because
get it.
she has the gift of gab and she has the clout behind it,
The clout.
then yeah, let's go head on and interview her and let's give her all the opportunities. Then you wonder why in the black community we're so backwards. And this is
Yep.
also interesting. Dr. Cheyenne Bryant is a so-called therapist who loves holding black men accountable, whether it's Paul Pierce, whether it's
Men.
Cam Newton, whether
Keyword.
it's Nick Cannon, or even Joe Budden himself. She loves to hold people accountable. But at the same time, Dr. Cheyenne Bryant doesn't like to be accountable even for the best interest of her own clients. She doesn't want to be accountable to the licensure board. No, she wants to be able to do what she wants to do. Well,
You know, O'Shea, that ain't just her. That ain't just Cheyenne. That's a lot of black women. That's a lot of women in America. That's what America then created.
the same time, sitting there in your face, telling you what you should be doing, then misleading you to pay for it and calling it coaching services when she knows she could never call it therapy sessions. Then again, this is not new from you guys from the Black community. We've all seen this since we've been living.
Yep.
We've all been seeing the destruction of when we prioritize clout over competence.
Yep.
So guys, what do you think? It's your boy Yoshi D. Jackson.
Appreciate it, O'Shea.
Back at it again.
Make sure you hit that like button, subscribe.
The junk, our producer, for all that you do.
We out.
Subscribe, hit the bell. We're out.